Okay, so in the Newton's second law, right, F equals ma. M is the mass, and we've always, we've dealt with the whole, grams versus kilograms, right? If they give you grams, divide by 1,000 and get kilograms, right? Acceleration, sometimes we have to solve for acceleration, like VF is VI plus AT, right? And we've done that, right? So now what we're headed toward is the notion that we have to find the vector sum of all these forces, right? Now we're not going to do, like force at some angle, but we could. Okay, we're just going to look at forces in one direction. So let's take a look at that. In this example here, we've got a 5 kilogram object, and let's just imagine that maybe it's sliding on a frictionless surface or something like that. Maybe it's like an air track glider, like I showed you. What we're going to do is we are going to calculate and figure out all the forces. So our first step is calculate or figure out, right, the forces. We also need to draw a picture. So draw arrows, use arrows just like this, right? We have to decide where positive is. This is super, super important, and where negative is, okay? So decide positive and negative, right? So calculated, here the forces are given to us, so there's no calculating, right? And then draw arrows for the forces, decide positive and negative, right? The second step is that you set all of those forces equal to ma. So F equals ma becomes something like plus or minus force 1, plus or minus force 2, plus or minus force 3, right? We got to decide. And then that equals m times. And then the acceleration could be plus or minus, right? So you gotta be careful, right? You gotta read the problems carefully so you know which way the acceleration is, which way all the forces are, right? Set that up, and then of course the last step is math, or maths. Whoops, as the Brits would say, right? So in this problem, right, we've got the forces. They're just given to us. I'm going to make this -9. This is positive 17, right? And then we'll set this thing up. It's easy, right? -9 plus 17 equals m. And where this is an unknown acceleration, right? So that equals 5.0 times a. And we're just trying to solve for a, right? So let's see if I can do this. -9 plus 17 is 8. 8 is 5a, and then let's divide by 5. I get 1.6, so a is equal to 1.6 meters per second squared. So again, draw your forces with arrows, decide which way is positive and negative, and then just set it up, add up all the forces, and that equals m times a. Okay? Now I'm going to show you the next example is I think a little harder, where we've got to find a unknown force. Okay, so we've got this block of whatever it is, right? Geez, it's sliding along, right? And it's sliding to the right and accelerating to the right. Actually, we don't even know if it's sliding to the right, but let's just say it is. And it's accelerating to the right at 9 meters per second squared. So that's going to make this a positive acceleration. We've got to know that. This force is to the right. So we're going to make that positive, and then there's going to be some unknown force acting on it, right? Okay. And I'll draw this unknown force in here like this, because I don't really know which way it is. But what you do with forces is you guess that they're positive, right? So our first step is to draw arrows for the forces. We've done that, right? Now we're going to set up F equals ma, right? And I'm just going to say that whatever that force is just a variable, right? And then I'm going to say plus 450, because and the plus is because this is to the right. If it were to the left, I'd make it negative. Okay. Whoops. That's supposed to be just a bracket like that, but I held the shift key down. That's what happened. All right, and then that equals 35 times positive 9.0. Okay, so let's do this. So 35 times 9. It's 315. And so we've got F plus 450 is 315. So I'm going to subtract 450 from both sides. And that goes away, right? 315 minus 450 is equal to negative 135. So the force that's acting on this thing is actually to the left. So I need to say the force is 135 newtons to the left. Ta-da. So the fact that it came out negative, that's what makes it to the left. We made to the right positive, and if the force comes out negative, or if an acceleration comes out negative, then that means it's to the left. Okay? That's the trick. That's all we have to do.